What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Cyrus Obsidian here at Obsidian Games, here to bring you another episode of Local Diaries. So let us swing right on in. So we have a regional coming up next week, and we are super stoked to be playing in it. And so we are going to be playing the quote-unquote one of the best decks in the room in Vanquish Soul K9. Now I know Dracotail has seen a huge upsurge. Yummy is still a deck to contest with, and Vanquish Soul has kind of fallen off since Maxi is not a thing in the TCG. So we are still running it back with Vanquish Soul because A, I do love Vanquish Soul, and B, we don't have any other decks aside from this that I feel would be great to play against in for the regional. Granted, we still have Malice. That's a deck that still exists. Mitsu Raziel is a deck that still is out there, so we are very much prepared for those matchups in this deck. And we do, again, have ourselves Malice that we could play for it, and a ton of rogue options that we could play it, like Tenyi Sword Soul that you saw me play last time we played in Local Diaries, and then some other things that we are slowly trying to cook up to kind of bring to the series. But let me show you our updated Vanquish Soul deck profile. It does have a lot of interesting changes that we have made just to be a little bit better, in my opinion, but we'll find out how much better that is. So let me show you the deck. All right, so we are running it back with Vanquish Soul. For today's deck profile, we are going to be playing the standard 3 copies of Vanquish Soul Razin, 3 copies of Vanquish Soul Dr. Madlove, 3 copies of Vanquish Soul Holly Soup, 1 copy of Caesar Valius, 2 copies of Heavy Borger, and 2 copies of Xiaolong. So we wanted to keep it as minimal as possible with bricks, because sometimes that happens. And so anyways, we've reduced a little bit of our Vanquish Soul lineup. We're playing still 3 Stake, 1 Star, and then the 1 Snow Devil. We decided to cut Continue out. We are playing this at 41. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out what first card to cut, so we are playing it at 41. And then we do have the one of here. Let's kind of scoot these over so we're not getting glare. The one of Rhoda, since this gets us in the Razin and we pop off. If Rhoda could search anything else, great, but it just searches Razin. More ways to Razin. For the K9 engine, we are playing 3 copies of K9 Izuna, 1 Lupus, 3 copies of Jokul, and then 1 copy of Lantern, with the 1 copy of a Case for K9 and the 1 K9 X Force release. So I know some people play the other K9 Quick Play. I like this one just a little bit better. I just really need to get into Werewolf, that's it. And there's times where I really don't care about the other X Seeds on board, so I also just like the advantage of being able to pop a card with this one. So. And in the K9 engine, like, it's pretty self-explanatory. We want to see Izuna, especially when we're going second. We want to see it in our starting hand if they activate anything in hand, so we can combo off. Seeing it plus Holly Sue is great, and another Vanquish Soul name, of course. Yeah. As for the rest, non-engine, we are playing 3 copies of Ash, 2 copies of Ghost Bell. I definitely love these. Ash is just mandatory for the Mulcharmies, and Ghost Bell is really great into the format, so it's awesome. Speaking of Mulcharmies, we are playing 3 copies of Fuelos and then 3 copies of Perulia. In the mirror, this is really great. Against Yummy, this is great, both of them. These are just really either going to be turn skips, or they're going to give us the gas we need to start playing on our opponent's turn, whichever comes first. The extra deck has seen some change. We are only playing 1 rank 4, and that is the Silent Honor Arc. We are playing it because we are still playing the Nash Knight. Just really great combo piece there, especially when we do open it and we can go into Lupus on our opponent's turn and detach 2 to take. So there's that. We are playing the one of number 67 Paradise Smasher. I know I said this card is cheeks, but I have been convinced that until it is banned, this is a really good card to win games fast. especially in longer tournaments, which we do have a regional coming up. And so this is us prepping for that regional. This is really great at just helping close games fast. You're not having to overthink and overstimulate yourself in trying to break boards. And then for the rest, we are playing the 2 copies of Ripper, 1 copy of Val and the Super Size Sky Blaster. Love this card. We're playing 1 number C101 Honor Dark to go with the Nationite engine that we do play. For our last rank 5, we are playing Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. We might cut this out. We are trying it for today. I just love this card. I've loved it when I played it in Phantom Knight. I loved it when I played it in Raid Raptor. So I also just really like it. I like the Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragons, you know, and their evolutions. I think they're just super cool. Same thing with Odd Eyes. And then we play 1 rank 6 in the CXC's Nationite to go into the C101. And then we do play 1 K9X Werewolf for the release. We play 1 Typhon and then 1 Zeus to round up our Xyz. And then for our links, we play 2 copies of Rock the Vanquisher and 1 SP Little Knight. So I decided to cut Rock down, and we also don't have Rock of the Vanquisher or Rock Soul of Rocks, whatever. Vanquish Soul Rocks, yeah, that's what it is. Because there just wasn't very many times where we're going into it, so we decided to not play it. But we cut Rock down to 2, just so that way I could fit in the Arc Rebellion and the Paradise Smasher. If we do cut the Arc Rebellion down the line, it will be the other Link 2 that helps us just out Baguska, assuming Baguska will be a threat, but we shall see. That is it for the extra deck. Moving to the side deck, not a lot has changed from the side deck, but we're still making preparations to play against the Mirror, Yummy, and Draco Tail. So we are playing 3 copies of Dino Resto Pinkertops. We are playing 2 copies of Kurikara with 1 copy of Dogorin to kind of help us get around the unaffected monster scenario and just being able to just out things that our opponent will put in our way. And then we are playing 3 copies of Retaliating Sea. Sneaky Sea or Contact Sea did come into mind, but Retaliating Sea I think I like a little bit more. Just being able to get rid of advantages, so that way our opponent is playing less into what they need, especially in the Yummy and Draco Tail mashup. Being able to just get rid of their Shadal pieces, their Draco Tail pieces, I think is really good. And then putting this against Yummy, they have to book it to be able to get rid of it. So that's that for you. And then last, we're playing Board Breakers. We are playing 2 copies of Thrust with 1 Talent, 1 Dark Ruler, 1 Duster, and then for when we do go first, 1 Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. I think Karma Cannon is really good. I went back and forth between Karma Cannon and Dimensional Barrier, because Dimensional Barrier does just check a little bit more. But I love the Karma Cannon being able to out boards like Malice if that still floats, because we aren't playing the Artifact Lancias anymore, so we still need to figure out outs for that, and just any other deck that can play around the D barrier. So Karma Cannon was the first card that came to mind, and that's just kind of what outweighed the other decisions. Duster, Dark Ruler, Talents, Thrust. Talent Thrust is pretty much for the Mirror. We are very much in that format where that's really great. Dark Ruler no more is for the Yummy matchup again. Duster is for that same matchup. Also works pretty well against Draco Tail and the Mirror as well. And then any rogue strategies as well, we can just catch off guard. So that is it for our main side and extra deck. Let's run her back with Vanquish Soul. All right, so here we are at Duke City Games in our corner again. Round 1, we play against pure Draco Tail.
Alrighty, for our Chasm Commander players, if you guys can look over to the
and game 1, we lose die roll, so he goes first. We tried to push through because we had 2 Fuas, we Fua'd them, and we played right into Nib. We could have made Ripper and been fine, but I was not smart, and we didn't make Ripper, and we lose to Nib. Game 2, just he had the Perulia, he had the Ash for my stake, he had the Droll when I added the start, and it was just a struggle from there. I drew the one of Caesar, the one of Lantern, and it was just no good. So we ended up taking an L. Well, at least from here, the only way out is up, right? Hopefully we don't lose anymore. Otherwise, I'm going to throw the deck in the trash and burn it. I won't. I love Vanquish Soul. Maybe we'll just go back to pure Vanquish Soul and screw the canines. Yeah. All right, so round 2, we play against Archmage. We lose the die roll, but we Perulia'd Fuad. We got a lot of draws, which was enough to just break his board. Game 2, we didn't see any form of interaction outside of the canines, and we were just kind of living on a prayer of that, and he was able to get lethal. Game 3, we made Paradise Smasher, and just that carried us. As much as I hate that card, it's what won us the game. So we're 1-1 right now. We still have 2 more rounds to go. See how far we can take K9 Vanquish Soul. Low key, I'm thinking about just going back to Vanquish Soul. I love the K9s. They're really great for the deck. But I just miss pure Vanquish Soul with all the hand traps. All right, round 3, we play against Tina, and game 1, we were able to take it. It was great. I'm kidding. No, we lost in game 1. Game 1, he wins the die roll. We Fua give us 1 draw. We drew for turn with Perulia. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Where were you? We got a lot of draws if we were in my starting hand. We Perulia on my turn just to see if we would get anything out of it. We didn't. He just had too much Book of Mooning power to stop me in my plays. Right? I think so. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or no. We won game 1 because we were able to play through all the Book of Moons and then went into the K9 engine, and we just absolved everything with the K9s. That's right. That's how that went. Game 2, we didn't side anything out. We kept the Perulias and Fuas, but we didn't see any of them. We saw Ash, Bell, and I think maybe Fua, but Fua did nothing again. And then game 3, we drew for turn. We drew all the one-ofs. We could have stalled for a turn, but our top deck was Azuna, and Azuna wasn't going to do us anything, so we conceded. Just took the damage and just cried. We tried. The Book of Mooning power, man. Tina is really good at that. So we end up losing there. 1-2, 1 more round to go. We're probably going to end 2-2 if I don't drop. Well, remember how I said the only way up out was up? Yeah, apparently that didn't last. So round 4, we play against the mirror match. He wins the die roll, and honestly in the mirror match, whoever wins the die roll kind of just wins. He just was able to set up a full board. We never saw the Moltarmies in any of the games. Of course, when we needed them the most, especially with Perulia and Fualos. Game 1, he was able to set up the Sea Masquerade, burn me for 4K, and just burn me for the rest. And his board was just super oppressive. Game 2, we were able to just fully capitalize on everything. We were using Holly Sue to take his stuff. We were just playing around everything and just being able to control the tempo. Game 3, we had the Azuna, we had Ghost Bell, we did have Holly Sue. He did a big brain play, stole my Holly Sue, and was continuing to make his board. One downside of the mirror is being able to use my own stuff against me. If I had a tag out, I would have tagged out, but we didn't have a tag out, so we lose it there. And then we tried playing through. We kept hoping to see Kurikara, but we didn't see the Kurikara, and so that kind of just how she wrote. We went into time, but since he had burned me with Masquerade, he took it. So sad. I think I'm going to go back to the dark side and play some stun. Or just control. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you guys would like to see. We do have a regional next weekend. So we got 2 more locals before then, and hopefully we can figure out what we're going to play. But catch you in the next one.